Yeah, we don't want to waste your time anyway. Just probably need to
All
get
right.
off.
So yeah, we're live now. So we guys, we don't have any questions this time. And so if you guys have questions, go ahead and then put them in the comment section. If not, we'll just we'll just wrap this up pretty quickly. So we didn't get many questions or any questions. I don't know if that means that you guys don't have any questions, that you're straight with everything that you're doing, and you don't really need any assistance at this point. I will say that we are going to have a wholesaling class, Lunch and Learn, this Friday. I'm going to go over really some advanced wholesaling techniques, some tricks and secrets that I've done in the past to wholesale many properties. And so, if you can attend Friday here locally, try to do so. So we'll go over some wholesaling. We'll have some of our either some coaching students or some of my real estate agents that have done some wholesaling, kind of tell their stories, and I'll tell a few stories of actually I've wholesaled I I think two this month, I believe. And so I'll tell the stories of those two that I did this month. So, but at any rate, you guys, we don't want to hold you guys. If you guys don't have any questions, we didn't want to cancel this because we weren't on last week. But if you don't have any questions, we're probably going to adjourn pretty quickly. Did you have anything to add, Keith?
Yeah, I would just have everyone to stay encouraged with your marketing that you're doing. For my platinum coaching students that are on the line, be looking out for a meeting day and time. I'll probably set up through Zoom or for our monthly one-on-ones. So that should probably come tomorrow through Thursday. And so over the next 5 to 7 days, you'll have a day and time where we'll meet just to go over things. But stay encouraged. We still have a lot of our investors that are finding opportunities. So when we meet, that'd be a good time for us just to kind of go over exactly how you are marketing and how close you are to getting deals, that sort of thing.
So Josue, looks like Josue has a question. If you can type that in, Josue, um, or if you could type it in, or I could maybe quickly send you a link. I could send you a link so that you could hop on real quickly. He says, I want to wholesale a property. Let me just see if I can send Josue a link real quick. Hold on, Josue. Hey, Josue, go to your email. Click on your link that I just sent you. It's the second link I sent that you get in the email. Check your email right now and go to the second link. He said he said, I want to wholesale a property whereby the owner is a hoarder and wants to keep all of his items. He said, what is the cost, or how do you handle an owner who wants to keep all of his belongings? That's a tough one, Josue. I just sent you an email. Click on the link and let's talk about it really quickly, and then we'll get out of here. So I think the challenge is for Josue is he wants to wholesale a property, but it's going to take a minute for the seller to move out. Here he comes. Hola, amigo.
Hola, amigo. ¿Cómo estás?
Josue, what's up, brother?
Bien,
Hey,
bien.
you guys.
No tengo dinero.
Oh man, that's what I was looking for.
I don't know. No
Hey, your
tengo.
Spanish is good. You know, your Spanish is good. I
Un
don't.
poquito. Un
I want to
poquito.
commend you. You know, being in the DMV nowadays. You know, your Spanish is actually up to par. So yeah, I got this guy who literally his house is it's a split foyer, basement, main level, 4 bedroom, 3 baths, 2 car garage. It's like about 1,500 square feet. He literally has things piled up everywhere in the house. Everywhere in the house. Like there's barely space to walk. So he wants to actually keep all of his belongings. And the last time I spoke to him, he wants to kind of decide which item goes where. Like he may keep some stuff, he may throw some stuff away. But it sounds like he's also willing to just let me throw everything in boxes and just store it somewhere. And so right now I'm still asking him whether he wants me to put it in a storage unit and for how long, or if he wants me to put it elsewhere. It's just crazy to me that he wants to keep everything, but trying to accommodate as much as possible to get the deal done.
Yeah, I think that depending on the deal and how much money you're going to make, it might be worth either storage or actually he should pay for the storage, or what I've done in the past, not on a wholesale deal, but on a real estate deal, a listing of mine. I put do you know what a pod is?
Yeah, it's one of those storage units that comes to your house.
Yeah, and so I put a pod in the driveway. I don't know if this house has a driveway, but I put and when I say I put one there, I suggested a pod, and they agreed, and so they bought a pod, stored all the things that they wanted in the pod. We cleaned everything else out, listed the property, and it sold. And at settlement, they had the money to have the pod taken to wherever they were going. So I don't know if that will help you, or maybe a permanent storage unit would help. Just kind of depends on what he wants. But even with a pod, they'll store that pod. You know, they have a storage for the pod as well.
That's actually a really, really good idea that I didn't think about. And I should definitely take it into consideration and actually offer him that. Yeah, he he recently had a heart attack. He's living in like a senior center right now, but his house is just going south. So I definitely want to wholesale it. It's in Alexandria. ARVs are in the 750s, 800s. Threw him a ballpark of like 400 to 500. He was like, "Yeah, sounds about right." So I didn't accommodate how much items were in there. I didn't take into account how much items were in there. So now I'm gonna offer really low and see what he says. But it's gonna be a wholesale property. I don't have the cash to flip it or hold it, so I'm just gonna wholesale it. Maybe make a large fee.
Mm-hmm.
And so how'd you find this property?
Driving for dollars.
So
called it.
So you got a list.
Drove for dollars. It was in my driving for dollars list. I got like 500. Skip traced it. Cold called it. He was like, "Yeah, I'm interested in selling." Dig deeper into his story, what's going on, and then I threw him a ballpark offer, and he was in my ballpark, so I said, "Okay, well, that's worth the appointment." So I went to go see the property, and now we're just trying to, schedule a time to meet to sign the contract. So
it's in Alexandria?
Yeah.
So are you driving for dollars in Alexandria?
No, I was working in the area. I wasn't even driving for dollars. I was working in the area. I had an appointment down there for my sales job.
Yeah.
And then in that neighborhood, I pinned like 5 or 6 houses, and that was one of them.
Is that down Route 1?
Yeah, I was going down Route 1, and then it's called Riverside Estates, something like that. Yeah, it's down Route 1. And then like a few blocks from Route 1 is where his neighborhood is.
So Dana wants to know how did you skip trace? What did you use? Did you use PropStream?
I use batch skip tracing. They
That's
charge
the
like
name.
15. Yeah, batch skip tracing. They charge 15 cents. If you put in the code PIN or Win15, something like that, they charge 15 cents.
That's kind of similar to PropStream. A little bit.
Yeah.
PropStream and REI Skip is 10 cents.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always used batch. Their data has always been a 98% hit. So I've been happy with them.
Okay. But to answer your question, yeah, I think you're right on it with the storage, but maybe even better with a pod. Obviously, like I said, have him pay for the pod. You may want to help him I don't know if you want to help him put the stuff in the pod, the things that he wants. But again, if you get a great deal, actually Dana and I, Dana wholesaled the property to me, and the deal, and I still have the property, and it was a good deal. And so I actually moved the lady. I had some of my guys put her stuff in store, loaded her stuff up on a truck, and moved her stuff to storage. He was moving in with her daughter, but there was enough money in the deal to do that.
Right. So you basically put it on a contract for a certain number, and then after that you paid for it up front. You know, as you were, I guess,
I
before.
paid for it up front. I don't remember. I don't know if I paid for it at settlement or up front. Dana could remind me, but maybe we closed on the deal, and then the same day or the next day we moved her. But she was I think she was like sort of an older lady, wasn't that mobile, and then she was moving in with her daughter. They didn't really have the wherewithal to actually move her stuff into storage, and so I didn't want that objection to hold up the deal. So we just went ahead. We just went ahead and moved her.
Yeah. That's my biggest thing. It's like if he recently had a heart attack, I don't know how mobile he is, and that's my biggest thing is just trying to make this as convenient and as simple as possible for him, so that I could squeeze the most juice out of this deal.
Okay. Well,
because it's a wholesale. Again, I'm like worried about whoever the buyer is. You know, how they're gonna want to. And I hope that he doesn't say, I want to go in and pick out item by item what is going to be taken away or what's not going to be taken away. That would be a huge headache. And that actually will make me want to offer lower. Look at you look stressed, and you're not even in the situation.
That's what's going to happen if he's a hoarder. Dana's saying that he paid for the move out of his wholesale fee, which is not true. I paid for it.
It got done, right? That's the important part. Ven, siéntate. Yeah. I have another question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know, water shut-off list, you can like kind of go to the county and get it through the county or whatnot. Do you see that? Have you ever targeted water shut-off list?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Is it because you just don't feel like it's worth your time? Like the profit is not there?
It's never even crossed my mind, to be honest with you, to go after that list. It's never crossed my mind. I don't know. I don't know if that's a big enough list. I think a lot of people that get on that list, they figure out a way to get that paid. So Danielle, I don't know if you can see this, Josue, but Danielle is saying that she just had a buyer who paid for storage for 3 months on a wholesale deal.
Okay, I like that.
I like that too. I mean, I think we've got to figure out ways. Normally, we're trying to figure out where they're going to move to. Does he have a place to move to?
Yeah, he's at a place right now. He's at a facility that's kind of, I guess taking care of him for the time being. Doesn't have much family around.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
but
yeah.
we've got to figure out these obstacles so that we can close on these deals. And like the deal I did with Dana, she said, "Hey, I've got to move," and I said, "Well, we'll move you." And then I've had other deals like that come to mind. But you got to do what you got to do on these deals. I think the number one thing right now, Josue, is to get a ratified contract, get them under contract at the price that you want, and then the rest is easy to figure out.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. All right, thank you so much.
All right, man.
All right, Josue.
I appreciate you guys.
All right. Anybody else have any questions? Any questions, you guys? Yeah, I've run across that, what Jose is dealing with. But I think the lesson there is you've got to do whatever it takes to get the job done. If, moving someone or someone's items in the house is standing in the way of you making $20,000 on a wholesale deal, then you take a little piece of that if you have to, and you solve the problem. But especially in this day and age, where in this market there's not a lot of deals out here, we want to try to get these deals done, maximize every opportunity that comes our way. All right. Anything else, you guys? Anything else? Any other questions? We're out of questions. We want to answer your questions. Again, I'm going to be going over a lot of my case studies for wholesaling. Friday is going to be Wholesale Friday. Going to be talking about my wholesale deals. If you guys, Dana, Danielle, if you guys have some wholesale deals that you want to come talk about, we can do that. Dana, we can talk about that deal that we did that I paid for the storage. You did not. I would never do that to you. And but wholesaling is just wonderful, especially in this market. Like I said, I closed on a deal last week, closed on a wholesale deal a week before. I will say that my wholesale deals this year aren't as big as in prior years. But to be honest, and I'll talk about this on Friday, I'm happy to get in and out or whatever I can get. To be honest, on one of the deals, I'm saying only. I remember when 5,000 was a big deal, but I only got $5,000. But I was happy to make that because the numbers were just really, really tight. I went through a couple cash buyers who couldn't get financing just because of interest rates and things like that. So I was happy to make that 5,000. And like I said, when I first started wholesaling, your average wholesale deal was 5,000. The economy has changed, inflation has changed, things like that. But we're just trying to get in and out of these deals and get to the next deal. And so I will talk about those things, how the marketplace has changed. I'll just say this last year, but probably the last 6, 7 months, 8 months, how things have changed primarily because of interest rates. And so as a wholesaler, let's just get these deals done. the more deals we can get done, the more money we're going to make. Anyway, anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Any other questions? I think that's it, Keith. You said 15 minutes. We went out. We went over a little bit.
Are we giving out another TV? Or no?
We are. Yeah, we are. So we're going to give out another TV on Friday too, and you've got to be there to win. Tara Lynn actually won. Miss Ali actually won at our last event, and she had to leave early, and she didn't win. And so I forget who won. One of our agents won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're giving out a 55-inch TV on Friday. Yeah, Don.
Christina King David, I think, won.
Yeah. So, so Donnie's asking if interest rates affect wholesaling. It does, and that's what I was saying. It does, in that the cash buyer has to get the financing for both to acquire the property, and then maybe if they're going to do a refinance, they're going to have to refinance, and it's a little tougher when interest rates are a lot higher. And so some cash buyers are hesitating to take your deal because it's hard for them to get financing. As a matter of fact, on a couple of mine, on one of mine, I did a creative financing. I did a seller financing. The lady owned it free and clear, and she held a note for me. And so because it was going to be tough for me, the numbers just wouldn't work because of the interest rates. So I asked if she would hold the financing, and she did. And so, but interest rates definitely affect wholesaling because of the cash buyer's ability to, get a loan. So you guys, hopefully we'll see you guys on Friday. If there's not any other questions, it'll be Wholesale Friday. We will be giving away a TV, but we'll be there to answer all of your questions about wholesaling. Yeah, the interest rates are high, like Danielle is saying. And so sometimes, recently, I've gone through a couple cash buyers to get that one. But there's a lot of cash buyers out here. We had another one of my agents, Irvin, had that I thought I had a cash buyer, didn't work out. We got another cash buyer, and they closed on a deal in 2 weeks. And so there's cash buyers out here, and the numbers that some of these people are paying is they're buying at. We teach you guys to buy at 70% of ARV minus repair costs. I did one on was it Newcomb Street? Yeah, Newcomb Street. The guy bought it at about 80%. 80%. He bought it at, and the guy that bought Irvin's last week was at about 80%. It was in Petworth, but it was in Petworth. He bought it about 80%. So there's cash buyers out here,
and they're willing to buy primarily because of the appreciation that they know they're going to get. Is that right?
Yeah, a lot of them, if they're holding the property, it makes sense. If not, it makes sense if they're holding. If they're flipping, they might be okay making. So I say to you guys, when you're flipping, I want you to, your profit should be around 20% of the ARV. So if you're flipping, let's say our ARV is 800,000, you should be making somewhere around 150, 160. Some of these guys are willing to make 10%. In this case, $80,000, which obviously is still a lot of money, but they're buying with lower margins to keep their contractors working, keeping their contractors busy, and just keeping revenue coming in. And so they look at it as with the higher priced flips in the higher priced areas, they're okay making 10%. We have an agent, Jahat. Keith, you know who Jihad is, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's actually one of our agents, but he's one of the top developers in the city. Dylan Investments. He just bought a property in Upper Northwest. I can never remember the neighborhood, but that he bought for $2 million. He bought the house for $2 million, and he's selling it for $4.9 million. Now, Jihad's not going to make 20%, but you make 10%. He's selling it for $4.9 million. He's going to make almost $500,000 at a 10% margin. And so it's okay to, go a little above our formula in the higher priced areas, because even at 10% profit, he's still going to make almost $500,000 on that deal. Now, 20%, he'd make $1 million, but he's happy. Obviously, I would be happy too. I'd be happy at 5%, but at 10%, he's going to make, $490,000. And so that's what people are doing in this market. And so that's what he's doing. He's primarily buying in that neighborhood. I don't know why I can't think of the neighborhood. I think the zip code is 20015, either 20015 or 2016. Up past like American University, that area. And so that's the type of market that we're all in. But it makes you want to change your strategy. It's made me want to change my strategy because Nate's doing the same thing. Nate's actually in the same zip code and looking for properties, because the same amount of work that it takes to flip a property up there is the same amount of work it takes to flip a property, in Deanwood and Capitol Heights, same amount of effort, and the finishes are similar. You would think the finishes would be, a lot better. They're not. People buy for location. People buy for zip code. So the finishes aren't that much greater, and they're selling in the millions, and it's the same amount of work. People have asked me from time to time over the years, how come I don't flip in those same areas? And my answer is always, I want the low-hanging fruit. I want what's coming to me. And what's coming to me, what I'm being offered are, the Deanwoods, the Capitol Heights, the Fort Washington, places like that. And I've been in debates with different people on this. But I do like, and Jihad started in these same areas, Nate as well. But now they see that, the time, the effort is the same as, but they're making, it's the same, but they're making 10 times more, literally, like almost literally making 10 times more. So it's just about finding the properties. And the way they find their properties is they buy off the MLS. In some cases, they'll buy from realtors and then give the houses back to the realtor for a relist. And so that's where they're finding their deals. They're doing some great renovations, but they can afford to have lower margins and still make a couple $100,000, a few $100,000 profit in the higher price neighborhoods. And like I said, a lot of people buying for the neighborhood. They're buying its location. And a lot of the renovations, you spending all that money on the renovation, they're going to come in and rip out that stuff anyway and put their own things in there. I remember I flipped a property in Woodridge, and the owner and the buyer was trying to get me to give them a credit for the appliances. And I said no. And so when they bought the property, they took out the appliances. They're brand new stainless steel appliances. And I drove by the property. The exterior was brand new. They painted the exterior brand new vinyl siding. They painted it, and then they did something else on the outside. And they changed some things on the inside too. So, sometimes people just want location, the end buyer. All right, you guys, that's all I have. If you guys don't have any questions, hopefully we see you guys live on Friday. It's actually at our office up on the 3rd floor in our new training area. If you guys have any similar stories about wholesaling or anything else, try to come out. It's a great opportunity to network, if not anything else. And people get to see who you are. They're trying to build their cash buyers list. You can build your cash buyers list, and it's just a great time. We'll have some good food and a good time. And we're going to give away a TV. All right, you guys. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.
You guys have a good night.
Good night.